So the political energies have shifted, and I think you may have been feeling that too. You know, the past few weeks, things have been coming out so fast and furious. The energy was really building, things were accelerating, and now it feels like we're in a lull or a bit of a withdrawal period. So I wanted to make a video, number one, to validate that if that's what you're feeling, and number two, to put your anxieties at ease. Okay, because when things change, I think a lot of people go into panic that says, it's not going to happen and everything, it's all gone to shit. No, okay, no, I got you. And Daisy's got you too. Daily Dose of Daisy. So if you don't know me, hello, I'm Gia. I'm a psychic medium and a channeler. And this whole year I've been tuned into the political energies. I have been predicting and tracking them with incredible accuracy. Check my playlist, Gia Just Said That, for more. And I did tune in today because, like many of you, I felt that lull. And I wanted to see what's going on. Is there anything we need to know? Like, what's up? And like I said, this video will ease your mind because yes, there's a lull. Yes, things are quiet. And it's that sense of a little too quiet. Why is it so quiet? What are they plotting? What's up? Because there is that energy of plotting, of secrecy, of so many things were happening and now it looks like nothing is happening. What's going on? So when I tuned into this and when I asked Spirit, the number one thing I got is that the lull is a good thing, okay? We don't like it. We want Fast and Furious. We want them gone yesterday. But the lull is a good thing for two reasons. Well, lots of reasons. But the two big ones, number one, is because we humans need time to acclimate, to take a breath, because those energies were fast and furious. And although those of us who have been watching and waiting for his removal, that energy is too fast for people who are just waking up to the realization that something is wrong, that there's chaos in the government. So this lull is serving that pace. And the reason that is so beneficial is because as we're in this collective manifestation and as we are trying to have as much of a peaceful change as possible in this country, we need the collective to stabilize, because without that stability individually among people, among the population, if that energy is too unsettled, it makes the big public moments too volatile, too chaotic, too explosive, which is exactly why this whole removal switcheroo thing that has been in the works has taken so long, because we need enough collective energies that are grounded, that are adjusted, that are acclimated. So in I want to say October, in one of my recent psychic preview events, every month I tune in, I do a what's coming next, and I tune in, what's happening for the month, what do we need to know? And very recently I was shown this image of like Gumby, you know, that character Gumby with the two legs, and the two legs are kind of tied together with a rubber band. And so we have the part of the collective that is really forward driven. We want change. We want revelation. We want this guy gone. We're really stretching forward. But that rubber band is keeping us tethered to the part of the collective that isn't moving forward as quickly or doesn't want to. And while that's frustrating for those of us who want to go ahead, that's what keeps the balance. We need the two legs at a roughly even pace. Now, we're not always going to be even pace, right? Because some of us are miles ahead of the other folks. But for that stability, we have to be in a close enough range. So the one leg will stretch far ahead, and then the other leg has to really stretch to come get close. So that's the period we're in right now, is to bring the second half of the collective to come a little bit closer. And then once that stabilizes, the first leg will pick back up again and do a big stretch. And if you've been tracking the energies or paying attention this whole year, that's what's happened, right? We get these periods of quickening and let's go and then followed by a lull. And what's happening? Nothing's happening. And then repeat. So this is the number one reason Spirit gave me for why we're in a lull and why it's a good thing, okay? The number two reason is because this lull is going to give us strength for what's coming next. Because as the months progress and as things continually destabilize with both in the government, in all the systems, our pets' heads are falling off. Like as things get crazier, we need to take a minute, take a breath, gain our strength, and gain our solidarity, because each time we go further, things get a lot more unstable. And this is both energetically, like I just talked about, but also in the systems themselves. I mean, look what happened when the government shut down, and there was so much tension and fear and all of that, and the systems that people depended on were up in the air. So this lull gives us a space to catch our breath and gain our strength. It's very much like labor, like giving birth, because there are periods where great strength and grit is required, and then we have a minute to regain our strength, reposition the baby before we move on. Okay, so that's what's going on with us, with the whole collective, with we the people, all right? And that's why this is beneficial. But Spirit also showed me what's going on in DC, because I get this feeling of like a cloak of secrecy. And I was like, I don't know if I like that. Is it secrecy on the part of we're going to be binary. We're going to say the good guys. Is it secrecy on the part of the good guys or secrecy on the part of the bad guys? Are they plotting? Are we about to all go down in flames? And they said, settle down, settle down. This cloak of secrecy is absolutely what's happening with the good guys. Because with this new batch of Epstein emails came revelation after revelation, and DC is reeling. They are reeling. And so they are keeping a very tight lip, because those people who were already pushing for the release and knew about the corruption and they want more, they're like, okay, let's go, let's go. But people who are just realizing how bad this is, they're part of the collective like us. They need a minute to adjust. And so as part of that secrecy, it's within themselves too. How are they coping with what's happening and what's about to come? They're withdrawing, they're re-strategizing, they're in their own private panic of, holy shit, what do we do now? And so it is both their private, what am I going to do individually as a representative? We've heard rumors that there might be some mass resignations. That's their privacy. But on the on the point of the good guys, as a whole, there is some serious strategizing happening in DC. And so if you've been tuning into, is he going to be impeached? Is they going to march him out? Are they going to, like, what's going to happen? Is his own cabinet going to, like, what is it? 25th Amendment, Article 25? Like, are they going to be the ones to remove? If you've been tuned into this energy, there's been a lot of potential and a lot of possibilities, but I have never felt strongly which option. And Spirit has never told me explicitly which it's going to be, because this is the part of free will. As the parties at play, the people with the actual decision-making power, as they adjust to these shifts and revelations and to the will of the people, their plans change and their ideas and their scheme going forward is changing. So this sense of this veil of secrecy is about them withdrawing behind the scenes to strategize, to assess and be like, what are we going to do? Now, I know that can bring a lot of uncertainty again, as it's like, it's up in the air. Is he not going to be removed? What? Like, we feel like we're at the mercy of these people, right? No. Because as I have been sharing this entire year, this is a divine process that's unfolding here. This is many generations worth in the works of the shift in humanity, the shift of the human family that is going to result in a shift in the systems of the world, the politics, the people in charge, the hidden systems, systemic racism, misogyny. So this is a divine plan of revelation, of change, of growth, and of transition into the new. So what we're seeing now is a physical representation of all of this energetic, spiritual stuff that's been going on behind the scenes for many years. So as I always frequently tell my followers here, our faith, our hope is not in the lawmakers to do the right thing or do the thing we want to do. Our faith is in the overall transition, the energy of the divine plan. And that divine plan is absolutely in place and it's well underway. So when you have a divine plan, especially a divine plan, we're as far enough along as we are that it's done. The energy is locked in, it's done. The only variable is how long it takes and which very specific things the people in power do. But no matter what they do to delay or stall or get out of it or hide the truth, they cannot. They can't. They can scramble, and they are scrambling. But this is a divine plan that cannot and will not be stopped. So it is inevitable. One way or the other, it is inevitable. Okay, so this video is super long. I won't keep going into detail, though there's a lot more. So my monthly What's Coming Next psychic preview event is coming. It's next week. So if you want more of this kind of stuff, it's almost 2 hours. It's a group Zoom call. If you can't attend live, you'll get the replay sent to you to listen in your own time. I'm going to dive in head first and I'll see what we're going to see. Okay, so go ahead and sign up on my website. If you're on TikTok, it's in the bio. If you're on YouTube, it's going to be in the caption.